To a trapped animal, the human walking toward it looks exactly like the thing that's about to kill it. That's the cruel math of rescue. A deer twisted in a wire fence, a bird sealed in netting, a whale wrapped in rope. You move in to help, and every alarm in its body returns the same verdict. A predator has found me at my weakest moment, so it fights. It spends the last of its strength trying to escape the one creature trying to free it. And yet sometimes the opposite happens. The thrashing stops. The body goes still. The animal turns, not away from you, toward you, and watches your hands work, as if, somehow, it knows. So which is real? Does an animal have any idea you're trying to save it? Or is that just a story we tell ourselves because we want it to be true? To understand the answer, you first have to understand what being trapped does to a body. The moment a wild animal loses the ability to move, it floods with cortisol and adrenaline. Heart rate doubles, then doubles again. One study of animals caught in fencing found stress hormone levels higher than in animals that had been shot, higher than a gunshot. The pupils blow wide, the muscles lock, and the animal goes somewhere else, still present in the body but aware of nothing except the threat in front of it. That is the state you walk into when you come to help. You don't arrive as a rescuer. You arrive as the last thing it ever expected to see before the end. Start with the story everyone already knows. In December 2005, a crab fisherman found a 50-foot humpback whale tangled in trap lines 18 miles off San Francisco. A dozen crab pots, 90 pounds each, hung from her body, dragging her under. She was fighting just to keep her blowhole above the water. 4 divers went in with curved knives, knowing a single flick of her tail could kill them, and for an hour they cut her loose. When the last rope fell away, she didn't flee. She swam in slow circles, moved from diver to diver, and nudged each one. One of them said it felt like she was thanking them. The clip went around the world because it confirmed what we ache to believe, that she understood, that she knew. But the people who free whales for a living will tell you something colder. Most freed whales don't linger. They bolt the instant the last line is cut and want nothing to do with the humans crowding them. And the gentle whale is rare in another way too. Most trapped animals fight their rescuers the entire time, thrashing harder the closer you get. So before we decide the whale knew anything, we have to ask a smaller, harder question. Can an animal read a human's intention at all? There's a clean way to test it. Scientists call it the unwilling versus unable paradigm. In 2004, the primatologist Joseph Call ran it on chimpanzees. A human passed them food through a slot, then stopped. Sometimes the human teased, pulling the food away on purpose. Sometimes the human fumbled and dropped it, clearly trying and failing. Same result either way, no food. But the chimps reacted completely differently. They got pushy and frustrated with the teaser and patient with the fumbler. They weren't tracking the outcome. They were reading the intention behind it. Years later, researchers at the Max Planck Institute ran the same test on dogs. When a person withheld a treat on purpose, the dogs got impatient fast. When the person dropped it by accident, they waited. Some sat, some wagged, as if to say, "Take your time, I can tell you're trying." They could see the line between won't and can't. And that line is everything, because understanding that a human is trying is the first step toward understanding that a human is trying to help. Dogs are unusually good at this. Point at something hidden and a dog follows your finger, a trick even chimpanzees, our closest relatives, mostly fail. Thousands of years living beside us rewired them to read our hands, our faces, our voices as signals meant for them. So if any animal on Earth can grasp that you're saving it, the smart bet is the one that evolved to read you. In 2020, Joshua Van Bourg and Clive Wynne at Arizona State University put it to the test. They took 60 untrained pet dogs and sealed each owner inside a box with a light door the dog could shove aside. The owner called for help. About a third of the dogs broke them out. A third sounds unimpressive until you see the controls. When the owner sat in the box calmly reading aloud instead of crying for help, fewer dogs opened it. So they weren't just trying to reach their humans, they were answering distress. And when the researchers baited the box with food instead, the number of dogs who opened it for a treat was no higher than the number who opened it to free a panicking owner. To these dogs, rescuing their person was worth about as much as a meal. The dogs that failed are the part that stays with you. They didn't lose interest. They paced and whined and trembled, swamped by their owner's fear. They didn't open the box because they couldn't work out how, not because they didn't care. Scientists have a name for it: emotional contagion. The dog catches your panic the way you catch a yawn. But that phrase is also the trap. Catching your fear and needing to make it stop is not the same as understanding that you are a rescuer with a plan. The dog doesn't grasp the latch, the box, the idea of saving a life. It feels your terror as its own and moves to end it. And out in the wild, it's stranger still. When a trapped deer or a snared wolf finally goes still and lets a human work, researchers don't think it has recognized a friend. They think its alarm system has simply lost its grip. A predator closing in moves fast, direct, aggressive. A pattern burned in over millions of years. A human trying to help moves slowly, touches the trap instead of the animal, makes none of the sounds a hunt makes. The brain searches its entire library of threats and comes back empty. With no pattern to match, the panic stalls. The animal isn't trusting you. It's waiting because nothing in its history tells it what you are. So here's the honest answer. Most animals don't know you're saving them. The whale, the deer, the wolf at the edge of the tree line. They aren't grateful and they aren't stupid. Nothing in millions of years ever prepared a wild animal for a predator that comes close in order to set it free. Every signal says you are death. That's the quiet tragedy of rescuing the wild. You almost always have to do it against the animal's will, except for one. It's probably lying somewhere near you right now. The dog is the single creature that lived alongside us long enough to read the rescue in our hands, to hear the panic in a voice and feel it as a pull it can't ignore. Maybe it doesn't understand the box or the rope or the plan, but it understands you. And after all the time we've spent staring into animals looking for proof that they know what we feel, the strangest part is how much of the answer is just a reflection. We keep searching them for someone looking back, and the one that does is the one we spent 10,000 years teaching how.